everybody, welcome back to another very exciting Photoshop Daily Creative Challenge. I am your host, Jesus Ramirez. How are you this morning or afternoon or evening, depending on where you're watching from? I'm streaming from the beautiful San Francisco Bay Area. It's a beautiful morning here. Let me know where you're watching from, and also let me know if you can hear me. I want to make sure that the audio is okay before I get going. I see a lot of familiar faces in the chat. Hey Sam, how's it going? Thanks so much for helping out as usual. We have Ferry. Hey Ferry, nice to see you. Frank, Susan, Alejandro, Philip. Awesome, thank you so much. We have Clever from Texas. Good to see you. Yeah, this is going to be an awesome Photoshop Daily Creative Challenge. I hope that you enjoy it. Today we're going to talk about neural filters, and we're going to use neural filters to create a album cover. So I hope that you enjoy it. Sound check, good, awesome, perfect. Ferries from Indonesia, nice. The chat's going pretty quickly. Sounds okay. Thank you so much, Robert. Good to see you. Sharon from Pennsylvania, Northwest Pennsylvania. Awesome. Gerald is watching from a certain point of view. We have Tony from New York and Lynn from Canada. Thank you so much. Anthony from the UK. Well, thank you so much for joining me. Before we get started, I do want to show you my screen so that you can go into this page, behance.net/challenge/Photoshop. Make sure that you click on this blue button to follow the Daily Creative Challenge. You'll get notified via the Creative Cloud app, but most importantly, scroll down to this section here, called Album Cover, and make sure that you click on the Get Started button so that you can download the file that we're going to use for today's stream right here. Album Cover, Get Started. You don't have to use this file if you don't want to. You can use your own, but this is the one that I'm going to use, and you can follow along with me with that file if you like. So make sure that you check that out. Once again, that's on behance.net/challenge/Photoshop. One more thing, if you're watching from YouTube, make sure that you head over into behance.net/live, behance.net/live, so that I can interact with you. I cannot see your comments on YouTube. I can only see the ones on Behance. Cool. Let me see if there's any questions. Hey Majesty, how's it going? Murray, nice to see you. Thank you so much. Oh, we have Susan from Pleasanton, California. I'm like right next door. Is it raining? I'm looking out the window and I can't see the rain. But yeah, we're practically neighbors, Susan. I'm in San Ramon, California. But yeah, let's get started with Photoshop. This is the image that I'm going to work with. Let me double click on the hand tool to fit it to screen. And as you probably know by now, every single one of these Photoshop Daily Creative Challenges is showcasing a new feature in Photoshop 2021. And there is a really cool new feature with the neural filters that allows you to take the style from one image and apply it to another. So let me show you how that works. I'm going to go into the filter menu and select neural filters. Neural filters. And from here, we can go into the style transfer neural filter. And you have these styles here. Let me enable it by clicking on this button. And you have these styles here. These are all different styles that you can apply to your photo. All these styles. So for example, I can click on this one and Photoshop will attempt to apply the style of this photo onto my photo. So I can click on the different ones and it creates this cool looking groovy effect, as you can see there, and I'll click on a few more so you can see how it works. Let's try this flower. But anyway, Photoshop attempts to apply the style of this sample image onto the image that you're working with. Let me select one more. I'm looking for something that has a little more edge to it. Let's try this one. I think this one will work. Cool. So we'll just go with this one for now. I'm going to scroll down and just show you a couple of the options. You don't have too many controls, but you do have this option that allows you to preserve the original colors, so not the colors that were found in the sampled image. So if I click on this one, I think the colors will change more so you can see the difference. See that? So these are the colors that are found in the photo that we're sampling, and these are the colors that are found in the original image. So you have that option. You have the option to focus more on the subject if you like. You can adjust how strong the style is on your image. You can see the difference between very little strength and at 100%. You can adjust the brush size if you want to make the brush size thicker. You can blur the background. I necessarily wouldn't blur the background using this, at least in this particular image that I'm using, but you do have that option. So what I'm gonna do is I'm going to use this one right here called tattoo, or at least it says tattoo right behind the photo, and it creates a really cool sort of like drawing comic book effect, and I like that. I think I'm gonna go with this one for my album cover. It's got an album, like an 80s, you know, rock band type of feel to it. Also, I'm not gonna use the original colors because I like the new colors that it brings in. So instead of, so I'm just gonna keep the colors that it originally brought in, but sometimes you may want to keep the colors that are found in the image. It all depends on the effect and how it is applied. And what I'm gonna do now is maybe reduce the blur background because I don't want to blur the background in this image. Let me just undo that and give it a second, and I'll press OK. I'm gonna apply it as a smart filter so that I can have an opportunity to edit it if I want to. So really quickly, I was able to create this cartoony, hand-drawn, comic-like effect that I think will be really, really cool for my album cover. Let me see if there's any questions in the chat. I got distracted by trying to finish my banana. Oh, yeah, the banana. Oh, by the way, yeah, so the stream is up online now, the one that we had issues with last Friday, I believe it was. So that one is up now, and you can check out the recording. And talking about bananas, make sure that you add your banana. See my banana on my toolbar? Make sure that you add your banana on your toolbar. To do so, you can click on the edit toolbar, customize toolbar options, 3-dot here. Hold shift, click on done, and you'll have a banana in your toolbar, and that of course will make you part of the ABC, the Adobe Banana crew, as Sean called our little group here. Is Sean in the chat? I don't think I've seen Sean, or maybe he is. Anyway, so yeah, so this is what we have so far, and from this step we can actually improve the effect by adding more filters to it. One of the filters that I think that we should add is the oil paint filter. So if you go into filter, stylize, oil paint, you'll bring up this window, and you can see that it's trying to make it more fluid, more like a hand drawing. So before and after, let me show you that, and you can increase the stylization if you like, and the cleanliness, and all these different things. So in this case, what I think I'll do is, so I like how it's applying the smoothing, you know, like painterly effect in some areas, but not all the areas. So what I could do is I could duplicate my layer, Control J, Command J on the Mac, and apply it to this version of my smart object. So filter, stylize, oil paint, and I could really bump up the stylization on this, like so. And I can get smoother, more painterly edges. But at the same time, I can apply a layer mask and reveal the areas that I want to be rougher, like her eyes. I don't like the way her eyes ended up after I applied the oil paint filter. So with black, I can paint on that layer mask and reveal her eyes. I kind of like the teeth in the original one as well. So then you can just come in here and then just not apply the painterly effect on the things that have detail. I kind of like how this highlight was showing her arm as well. So I'm just going through the image and just making sure that it doesn't look too smooth in all parts of the image. So in some parts I like the oil paint filters and not in others, so I'm kind of mixing the two just by applying a layer mask. And see what I mean? I like the oil paint filter here on her hair. I think it looks much better, but I didn't necessarily like it on her teeth and her nose and all of that. So just make sure that you apply it wherever it makes your image look better. You don't have to apply it to the whole thing. And all I'm really doing is painting with black on a layer mask. If I hold Alt on Windows, Option on the Mac, and click on a layer mask, you can actually see what that layer mask looks like. This layer mask looks just like this. Just it has a few black strokes that are hiding the contents of this layer. So it reveals the pixels underneath. She has a mustache. Yeah, it kind of looks like she does, doesn't she, Jacqueline? Yeah, it looks like Christina cannot use the oil paint filter. Yeah, so there are some limitations in terms of the hardware that you have with the oil paint filter. I don't recall what the specs are, but if you type on Google, actually, let me see if I can find it for you. If I were to type Photoshop system requirements, I think we'll get what we need. And yeah, so these are the requirements that you need. And if I'm not mistaken, I thought there was something about the oil paint filter here. Nope, not. I guess there isn't. But yeah, so as long as you have the requirements that are shown on here, then you should be able to run the oil paint filter and the Nero filters. And in some cases, with certain hardware, you won't be able to run those features, unfortunately. Cool. Let me see. Good morning, everybody. I just have a lot of people saying good morning. Can we create our own color effect for Photoshop? I don't know what you mean by creating your own color effect, but I guess the short answer to that is yeah, you can create anything you want in Photoshop. For example, if I wanted to, that was the next step on this particular image, I was going to adjust the color. So I guess you can call that a color effect. I was going to go into levels and just make the darker pixels darker, the brighter pixels brighter, and adjust the gamma just to make the image pop a little bit more. Then I can go into vibrance. Vibrance is a controlled way of adding saturation, as opposed to just simply dragging the saturation slider to the right, where it bumps up the saturation of all pixels. Vibrance protects skin tones and already saturated pixels. So it's a much more controlled way of adding saturation. So I'm just gonna bump up the vibrance pretty high up, just so that we can make her hair and other colors that are not as saturated just jump and pop a bit more, like so. And I guess an album cover is a 1-to-1 ratio square, so I'm going to select the crop tool and crop this accordingly. And while I look for a font, because I'm going to go into fonts.adobe.com in a second just to find a font to use for this album cover, I want to ask you guys in the chat, what shall we name this album cover? Probably like a one-word, I'm thinking a one-word album title. So let me know if you have a good one. Oh, thanks so much, Chad, for posting the oil paint filter GPU link in the chat. If you don't mind Sam making that link clickable, I think that one is going to be a good resource for people who cannot use the oil paint filter. So thank you so much for finding that link, Chad, and posting it in the chat. Yeah, Kelly, that's exactly right. The GPU limitations do affect some of the filters in Photoshop 2021 and the oil paint filter as well. Sean said that the one-word album cover should be shave. Adobe rocks. Thank you so much, Sam, for posting that link. Rushed. Yeah, that should be my album cover name. I feel like I'm always rushing. Cool. So yeah, just keep coming up with some names. I'll come back, and what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go back into my browser right here, and I'm gonna go into fonts.adobe.com. Side note, I just noticed, and I don't know how long this has been there, but the fonts.adobe.com website has this little fun game that you can play. If you click on play now, it's gonna take you into this page where you can select, like, for example, select a luxury GIF you like to open and have a look inside, but it's got different fonts. So then, like, which font, you know, most closely resembles that word to you. So, I mean, for me, in this case, I don't know which one would be luxury. I don't know if any of these represent luxury for me. I don't know, maybe this one, for example. And, you know, you can keep going through the game and figure out, like, you know, how you see fonts, but it's pretty cool. Which one looks more like calligraphy to me? I don't know, probably this one. But anyway, have fun with it. It's right on the fonts.adobe.com website. So fonts.adobe.com. So make sure that you check that out. It's right on top here. It's the font tags game. You can click on play now. But anyway, so what is fonts.adobe.com? This is a place where you can find fonts to sync with your Creative Cloud. And why is that important? It's important if you're doing professional work, or work that you're gonna, you know, that is, how can I say this? It's much like downloading a photo from the internet, right? Any font that you download from the internet has rights to it, just like a photo. Of course, if you're just practicing and doing things for fun, you can download something off of Google Images and practice it, no problem. Same thing is true from a font. But if you're working on a project for a client or something like that, something that's going to be commercial work, you do want to have the licenses to use in your projects just like you would with an image. So fonts.adobe.com is a place where you can download fonts and you'll have rights to use them in any project. So it makes it easy for you to know for sure that you have the right licenses to use in commercial projects. So it's something that I recommend using, just like I would recommend someone not to use Google Images for their commercial work, because the images, you may not have the right to use the images in the project that you're using. But anyway, you can click on Browse Fonts and you can just select a category of fonts. Since the font that we're using kind of has a comic book effect to it, maybe I can click on comic here just to see the fonts that have that feel to them. And it looks like there's more than 3 pages. Let me see if I like any one of these. This one's kind of cool. Ergovan is kind of cool. So let me see. Let me go one more page and see if we find something else that we like. Oh, this one's cool. Yeah, I like that one. I might use that one. Or maybe this one. Let's see. Oh yeah, what is the one-word title? We see that we have Claudia from Print My Soul in the chat. Before I forget, I'm going to mention that Claudia and I are going to be doing a stream on Wednesday and Thursday. It's called Rework It. If you go into iamclaudia.com/reworkit, you can see what the stream is all about. But most importantly, you can click on Submit Your Design so that you can submit your Photoshop files, Illustrator files, or InDesign files. And Claudia and I can help you rework them on the stream. We can hopefully improve them for you and give you some tips and tricks on how to make your work better. Super easy to do. Just submit your file on this page, iamclaudia.com/reworkit, and add your file so that you can have an opportunity to be featured in our stream. But awesome. So back to fonts.adobe.com. Since I'm noticing I don't have a lot of time, I'm just going to just download, or not download, but license this font. So I'm just going to click on here and click to activate my font right here. It's going to activate my font. I can press OK, and then it's called Monster Mash, CC Monster Mash. So in Photoshop, should be uploaded on here. So let's see. Let me look for that font. Monster, is it there yet? There you go, Monster Mash. So I can use one of these for my title. What is my title? What did you guys recommend me to call this thing? Let's see. Actually, I don't know if I like that so much now. I think I'm going to use the one that is not outlined. CC. Yeah, I'll use that one. Let me see. What did you guys give me for names? Ebony, Rocked by Babes. Bananalandia. I actually like that one, bro. That's a really good one. I might go with that one. Bananalandia. Cool. All right. I like Bananalandia, Bruno. I'm going to copy that from the chat and I'm going to use that. It's a little longer than I wanted it to be, but it is what it is. It was a good name, so we'll use it. So there she is, Bananalandia. And I'm going to scroll down. In this case, I think that she's a little too. Oh, here's a trick for centering fonts. If you press Control, oh, not fonts, but centering anything on your canvas. If you press Control A on Windows, Command A on the Mac, you can click to make a selection. And with the Move tool active, you'll have these icons in the options bar, and I can click on them to center them either horizontally or vertically. So in this case, I center it vertically, and there it is, right in the center. And I'm not liking the balance between my singer and the top of her head. I feel that there's too much space on top. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to select these two layers. I guess I can put them in a group. Control G, Command G in the map, and Mac, and drag up, maybe like right about here. And I know I'm missing, missing this bottom piece here, but that's okay. What I'll do is I'll create a gradient adjustment layer and make use this one that goes from black, not that dark green, from black to, that's right, black as well. But on the top, we have the opacity set to 0%. And then I can bring down the scale a little bit and drag this down like so. There we go, something like that. Can't find the right scale. I think this might work. Yeah, this will work right here. So that works better, I think. So Bananalandia, that's the name of the album, and I'm still not liking the positioning of the font, but that's okay. We can work on that. We have like 2 minutes. But anyway, so that's the font that we added to our album cover. Maybe we can change the color to, like, I guess yellow, or maybe if I use the same orange that we have on her hair here, maybe. No, maybe a brighter version of that, something like that. That's our album cover right there, Bananalandia. So as you can see, we can easily apply that style from the presets that are found in the Photoshop's newer filters. We apply the one called Tattoo that created that painterly drawing effect. We then added the oil paint filter to make it look more like it was hand drawn. It's more fluid, but then we selectively hid areas of that particular layer because it destroyed the detail, like in the eyes, mouth, things like that, the microphone. Then we found this font from fonts.adobe.com and brought it in really easy just by licensing the font that we liked. Before we finish the stream, I would like to mention a couple things. Let me bring up my browser. First of all, make sure that you go into behance.net/challenge/Photoshop. Click on this big blue button so you can follow the challenge with me. You'll get notified via the Creative Cloud app. Also, very important, make sure that you click on the community chat link to open up Discord if you haven't already, and you'll be coming up to this page where it has all the work that we created. You can see here on the side all the work, and we did some background replacements. I can see an album cover in here already. Pretty good work. So yeah, you just make sure that you come in and submit your work. Super cool logo. This is what we did yesterday, challenge number 5. So yeah, make sure that you come in here and submit your work for the Photoshop Daily Creative Challenges. I'm in here. The Adobe mentors like Claudia, Sam, Tammy Baldier, Voodoo Val, Tim, we're all here. The Adobe team as well, Chad, Gus, Paul, you can see everyone is here. So make sure that you submit your work, ask your questions, and yeah, this is where you need to be. Also, when you submit your work onto behance.net, if you decide to create a project, make sure that you use the hashtag PS Creative Challenge, so that you can have an opportunity to be featured in this Creative Challenges gallery. These are hand-picked, so if you want to have an opportunity to be featured on here, make sure that you use that tag when you create your project, and also do the same thing for the XD Daily Creative Challenges and the Illustrator Daily Creative Challenges. But yeah, guys, thank you so much for joining me. It looks like I'm running out of time. I don't want to get cut off. Stay tuned. We'll be right back in just a few moments. I'm almost about to get cut off, so I'll see you guys later. Thanks so much, and I look forward to seeing you again tomorrow in another Photoshop Daily Creative Challenge.